Welcome to KSG Learning. Today we're going to let you know more about the British education system. The first thing to note is that there are some differences between the education system in England, Scotland and Wales, mainly in terms of the breadth and depth of curriculum and the awarding and regulating bodies. However, for today's video we're mainly focusing on the English education system. In the year your child turns 5, they will be eligible for primary school in the year known as reception. However, you must take your application 1 year prior. Just to remember that education is compulsory from reception onwards. I will be using this chart as a way to demonstrate the progression of a child through their full career in England, as there is often common confusion and ambiguity on this topic. As shown by the flowchart on the left, after reception, children will move to the infant section of primary school, which are years 1 and 2. They will then move to the junior section of primary school, which are years 3, 4, 5 and 6. The point to note is that different schools have got various entry points, so it is wise that before you choose which primary school you would like to send your child, we take a moment to examine the primary school routes that are best suited for your child and your circumstance. After primary school, your child will move on to secondary school. Most state schools will base your entry requirements on how far the student lives from the school. In addition to proximity, here's a list of other factors that schools use to determine which students fit the requirements to study there. However, if you would like to enroll your child into a more competitive school, like perhaps a private school or a state selective school, which are also sometimes referred to as grammar schools sometimes, then they've got to take an entrance exam. The entrance exam that all students must pass in order to go to a grammar school are commonly known as the 11 plus exams, and these are normally taken at the beginning of year 6. Whichever route you choose to take, you must make sure that you do your application before the 31st of October. We then move on to secondary school, which culminates in the GCSEs, which stand for General Certificate of Secondary Education, which has been in place since 1988. This is an examination that covers a set of core subjects like English, Maths and Science, as well as the elective subjects which students choose such as humanities, arts, PE and languages. Generally, a student is encouraged to take 5 GCSE subjects for the exam. After that, a student is either given the academic path or the vocational path. In the academic path, the student will enter what is known as sixth form. In sixth form, students are geared towards the A-level examination, which will help them prepare for university. The examination is normally comprised of 3 to 4 subjects. If a student decides to go to vocational college, then they qualify in practical skills leading to BTEC or NVQ in subjects such as childcare or plumbing. After that, they can start their apprenticeship or find employment. For students who took the A-levels, they can enter university to study one subject of interest to them. This is generally a 3-year undergraduate honours program where one gets a bachelor's degree at the end, after which they can start their careers profile. Now that's all for today's video. I hope you now have a better understanding on the British education system and also have a clearer vision on your child's educational pathway.